Hey guys, this is Zero here. I'm doing another vlog review, and this time I'm going to be talking about the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to go see this, but through the past little while I picked up this, which has the four original Turtles movies, 1, 2, 3, and then the 2007 one, TMNT. And what made me make up my mind about seeing it was I purchased Turtles Forever on DVD, and it came with a voucher to see the movie basically for free. It was like $8.50 off and whatever. So, anyways, I saw the new Ninja Turtles movie. Now, I'll say, like, originally I was like, I made a Facebook post, why spend almost $10 seeing the new Ninja Turtles movie when I can watch the other four right here for about the same price? Because this was about $10 and this was about $9. So I've been spending the last couple weeks getting through these movies. I'm on the fourth one right now, halfway through. Actually, before recording this, I was just like watching a little bit of it, and I didn't really want to stop. I wanted to keep going. So it's weird because TMNT I don't remember that much about, so it was like re-experiencing it. And I started watching this with my brother because he had never seen it, so we're halfway through this. But yeah, so I've watched 3 of the movies, halfway through TMNT and halfway through Turtles Forever, which is kind of like a TV special thing. But last night I went with my buddy Corey, who you might know from Power Plays, to see the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, produced by Micheal Bay. And now, I know this movie's getting mostly negative reviews. I think there's been 1 or 2 people who have said they liked it. To sum up how I feel, the movie was okay. It just felt like there was a lot of missed potential. Missed opportunities, and it didn't feel like it hit there's lots of potential there. Essentially, the way I can explain it is, first of all, the movie felt really fast, and just in comparison, I thought Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, was really fast too, so it sort of feels the same pace, but 2 takes the right place after the first movie, and this one's just a new thing. So also, this movie was only like an hour and 40 minutes, I think it was, an hour and 40 minutes, something like that, so only 2 hours spent at the theater, some of it on previews and the rest on the movie. So I was okay with that. However, maybe that's part of the reason why I felt there was much to be desired, because I'm used to seeing 3-hour-long movies like The Hobbit now. So let me start from the beginning. So the origin story this time is different, but it doesn't do too much different with it to where I don't agree with it. The origins of the Ninja Turtles have been told millions of times, and keep in mind, I'm not really nostalgic for Ninja Turtles. I was born in '88, and when you're born in the 80s or 90s, I find you're either one of 2 groups. 1, you were a Ninja Turtles kid, or 2, you were a Power Rangers kid. I don't know if you could tell from most of the videos I make, I was a Power Rangers kid. So, Ninja Turtles, I've seen episodes of the original TV series, I've seen episodes of the 2003 series. I actually didn't get into the 2003 series until they got to Ninja Turtles Fast Forward, and that's when it sort of ended. So, and I haven't seen the new CG series, but I always, most of my fascination came from the video games, and James Rolfe loves the Ninja Turtles. He's done so many videos on them. I think I've seen every single Ninja Turtles video he's done. And his review of Turtles 3 got me interested originally in the other Turtles movies, because talked about how the first 2 were so good. And I owned 1 and 3 on VHS for a long time, and I can't remember if I borrowed a DVD of the second one or how I got the second one. And then I bought the TMNT one when it came out, so the 2007 one, on DVD. So to put this in perspective, this was the first Turtles movie I saw in the theater. What a one to choose, right? But yeah, and I saw Turtles Forever when it came on TV. So I'm not nostalgic for the Ninja Turtles in any way. I just want to get that out of there. I'm not really nostalgic for them in any way whatsoever. With that being said, I didn't start discovering Ninja Turtles really until my college years, where my brother and I were on our VHS binge in my college years, in his late high school years, so and his early college years too. So we started watching movies on VHS because I had the stack of VHS, because VHS movies are a dime a dozen now. So we had this moment where we were watching, you know, like Street Fighter the movie, Double Dragon the movie, which is one of the worst movies of all time in my opinion, and it just enrages me to think about it. And Ninja Turtles 1 and 3 were in there, and we wanted to see the second one, so we borrowed a DVD from somebody, I think. I can't remember how we actually got that movie. But yeah, so I've seen the 4 Turtles movies before, and that's my connection to the Ninja Turtles. I haven't read the comics, I haven't really watched any of the TV series through, though I heard the new one's really good, so I want to start watching the Ninja Turtle TV series to get into it. But I know the origin story of the Ninja Turtles. I know all the stories, even though I haven't watched the shows. I know how the origin story of the TV show goes. The TV shows go. I know how the origin story of the comic goes. I know how the origin stories of the first movie here goes. So that leading all back to Micheal Bay, the Micheal Bay produced movie. I'm saying produced because he didn't direct it, so he had different responsibilities in this one. Anyways, the origin story this time was new, and I'm sort of okay with it because it didn't really, you know, it still followed the same quota that the other origin stories have followed, but and it didn't it strayed just far enough to where I was okay with it. Now, a big thing that I said is the reason the movie felt so fast is because they didn't spend a whole lot of time with the origin story. It felt like this movie was made for fans of the Ninja Turtles, like people who are nostalgic for the Ninja Turtles. That being said, it seems like every time this movie took a step forward, it took 2 steps back. And I'll explain what I mean here in a moment. I will say that as much as I don't like Megan Fox, she did an okay job as April O'Neil. I believed she was the character. I believed that it was a pretty good performance, as good as you're going to get from Megan Fox. So I was okay with her performance. I was okay with her as April O'Neil. The biggest thing I'll say is we don't get too much time with explanation on the Turtles. Because again, I guess the movie assumes that you know who these characters are. We're not going to spend a ton of time explaining them, which is fine. Micheal Bay does that normally in his other movies too, like Transformers. Essentially, the Turtles are pretty much the same. I do like, I'm going to try and make this a spoiler for you as I can, but Donatello does seem a lot more techie than he usually is, which is good, because normally we all know Donatello is the brains of the operation with the Turtles, and we see him make gadgets, but we never see him fully utilizing his intelligence. Here it feels like we're utilizing more of his skills and his intelligence and whatnot. He doesn't necessarily make gadgets in this movie, but he definitely, you know, displays more intelligence, and it's very useful. I'd say he's probably the most useful one on the Turtles team. And I'm starting to like Donnie more because I'm an IT guy. I work in IT. I work for a huge IT company, and he's starting to become more of my favorite turtle, even though Leonardo's my favorite turtle. But I could see Donatello basically taking over that role as my favorite turtle. Raph was pretty much the same as he is always. Leo, I was going to say in this movie was kind of bland, but Leo's usually portrayed bland, except for, I think he was best portrayed in the 2007 movie and the 2003 series. I think he's best portrayed that way. So as my favorite turtle, I was like, I've seen him portrayed this way before, it doesn't bother me. The one turtle who's had probably the biggest change in his portrayal would probably have to be Michelangelo. And he's still the jokester that everybody knows, but now he's like, kind of like, I don't know, a rapper or something. And he is really, really into April O'Neil in this movie. Like, the Turtles have always been like, whoa, she's a babe, which, that's teenagers. But he's really into her in this movie, almost like creepy levels. And there's actually a point where he's like, where the Turtles try to be like intimidating, it'd be like, we'll find you. Then he's like, yeah, we'll find you. Sorry, I didn't mean that to sound creepy. You know what I mean? Like, it's... Michelangelo, I think, was the one turtle that they overdid it a bit. That sucks because he's like the jokester of the group, and I know a lot of people like Michelangelo. If you're a Michelangelo fan, you might not enjoy this movie as much because of what they did to his character. Not that the change is all bad. Like, he's still Michelangelo. He's still the turtle we know, the jokester, but the change, they did try to modernize the turtles a little bit, and Michelangelo's the one where you can see it the most. Things that are memorable from the series. The turtle van didn't show up until the very end of the movie, which isn't really a spoiler, but what have you there. The Shredder was kind of barely there. Karai's in this movie. I think it's Karai. Karai, I think, is more in the movie than the Shredder is, and even though the final battle is with the Shredder, it doesn't feel right. Also, there's a character, Sax, who is head of the company who made the mutagen and whatnot. Here's one of the missed opportunities that I'm going to get to. They should have not made this a new character. They should have made this Baxter Stockman. That would have made way more sense in what the movie was trying to do if he had been Baxter Stockman. I'm not going to get into what was changed in the plot, but that is one of the missed opportunities, in my opinion. They really should have, stepped back and thought, why don't we just rename... All they had to do was rename the character Baxter Stockman. That's all they had to do. Instead it's Sax, and he's like... It feels like a mix of, like, a rich guy with, like, a Baxter Stockman type thing. If they had made him Baxter Stockman, what happens to him in the end of the movie would have made something good for the sequel. And yeah, a sequel's already been announced for this movie, and it sorely needs a sequel. But that's... The creators intentionally did that so there would be a sequel. Another missed opportunity, no Casey Jones. And this... one thing I'll say, the fight scenes in this movie are pretty good. Like, they have the stereotypical Micheal Bay slow-mo camera bullshit that is kind of neat, but every time there was a battle, I was like, these guys could just use... The turtles could just use a little more help, especially when they're fighting the Shredder. I'm just like, maybe just, like, have, like, a quick, like, backup attack just to give the turtles an opening from Casey Jones. Where the hell was Casey Jones? That really could have helped this movie. And this is something my brother brought up. He's like, maybe they're saving it for the sequel, which makes sense. But really, really felt lacking. They really could have used Casey Jones in this movie, and it's kind of disappointing that they didn't, if for no other reason than to be sequel bait. Anyways, getting back to the characters, I pretty much said my piece on April O'Neil. There's not much to say. Megan Fox did a pretty good job. There's the camera guy who is with April in the TV series. I forget his name. But they changed his character quite a bit. He's not a snob. He's more of a... he's more of like a try-hard playboy, which is a good change, so I'm okay with that. Splinter. Splinter was probably one of the best done characters in the movie. This time, he's more of the strict sensei. He's always been the strict sensei, but this time they really, really nail it with him. And let me just put something here. The Shredder, you've all seen the trailer. The Shredder's outfit looks like a Micheal Bay Transformer, but it's like an upgraded suit from his regular suit. It's like a technological suit. With this super suit, he fights Splinter, and Splinter, again, this is potentially a spoiler, so I apologize, but I'm trying to explain this without making it a spoiler. Splinter has no problem fighting the Shredder with one hand. Literally, he's fighting him with a weapon in one hand, and it kind of feels like his other one's behind his back. It just goes to show you how great of like a warrior Splinter is. And it's funny because in this version of the origin story, he learned how to become he learned ninjutsu in a completely different way, which just goes to show you how badass Splinter is. The unfortunate part is Splinter is only in the first part of the movie. He's in near the end, but again, I don't want to get into spoiler territory here. Also, there was like this mountain chase scene near just before the final battle of the movie, which went on a little long. I know like they're trying to put in more action scenes that aren't just fight scenes, but really kind of overstayed its welcome. The CG, one thing I'll say about the CG is they did a lot of things you could not do practically. The turtles themselves, like everybody said, just look ugly. They don't look appealing. They don't look like... They look like they're trying to make them look realistic, but in the end, because they're trying to make them look realistic, they look unrealistic, and it's harder to take them seriously. But they did a lot of things with the CG that you just cannot do with people in suits. The 2007 TMNT movie did that as well, which was good, but it's funny because I think the animation on this movie is better than in the new movie. But this movie is completely animated, so that's expected. But I thought the CG was alright. They did an alright job with it. The Shredder's new suit is a little over the top, but I do like it. Has some new abilities that really up the ante. And the funny thing is, it makes the fight with Shredder versus Splinter a lot more badass because of it. It makes him look like a better fighter, which I think was the point. I guess to sum everything up, because I think I've talked about pretty much everything at this point. Oh, wait, the foot. I have to talk about the foot. This time, instead of being a ninja clan, they're Call of Duty soldiers. Which I'm okay with, because that makes more sense in a more modern setting than the foot ever did. Like, I love, like, the other Ninja Turtles movies, but you gotta admit, teenagers becoming ninjas, a bunch of rebel teenagers becoming ninjas and criminals is pretty ridiculous to, to accept. So the way the foot was portrayed in this movie makes more sense than it did in the older movies. I don't 100% like the idea that now they're gun-toting idiots, but you know what? It just makes them better cannon fodder for the Turtles, because the Turtles still don't use any weapons like guns or anything like that. They use their regular weapons, and they still kick these guys' asses. But the other thing, too, is the Turtles are made up to be more... They're bigger than humans in this one. They're like 6 foot tall, and they're meant to be stronger because they're mutated and whatnot. So, basically, they have no problem taking out guys with guns. So if you're going to give the bad guys guns, you had to make the Turtles stronger, which they did. Even though they're stronger, they still are no match for the Shredder on their own. Like, they do actually kick the Shredder's ass pretty well, but it takes them a long time to do it. Like, it wasn't easy. I guess my final thoughts on this movie is, I thought it was okay. I really wanted to like this movie because it had a lot of good stuff, but it also had like a lot of bad stuff. And it gets me back to the taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. The reason I say that is because they didn't waste any time doing like big, long explanations. One thing about the original Turtles movie, and I know I keep bringing this thing up here to show you guys, but one of the things about the original Turtles movie that I don't particularly care for, but it's something that the movie has to do, is it explains the origin story. And in the second movie, they explain the origin story again. So if you didn't see the first one, you can just watch the second one. But why would you watch the second one if you didn't see the first one? So this time, they made the origin story basically really quick. And because of the way the characters are done differently, it doesn't need to be explained. It's explained as the story is going on. So that was one of the things that was good, because most people going to see this movie, they probably already know the origin story of the Turtles. Anything we write, they're either not going to believe in or care about. So let's just do whatever we can think is going to work for this movie and move on. Where it takes a step back is those missed opportunities. Characters that they could have used in this movie and didn't. Barely any of the Shredder. The Turtles don't really have any development, but again, this is par for the course apparently for Micheal Bay movies. And the action scenes, while good, had a lot of things in them that were missteps. I guess what I'm trying to say is here is, can I recommend you go see this movie? And as much as I'd like to say yes, I have to unfortunately say no. And it's not because I think the movie is bad, but I think a lot of people will come out of it with the thought that it is bad. Because when I first finished watching the movie, I watched it last night, I didn't know how to feel about it at first. I talked to my buddy Corey because I was dropping him off. Dropping him off at home. On the drive home over, I told him basically everything I've told you guys here, maybe a little more because I can't remember everything, but basically telling him what my feelings were. And I guess that brought me to, I guess the movie was okay. But that's also the same way I felt with the first Transformers movie. And if this is par for the course with movies that Micheal Bay is involved in, if the sequel does not take advantage of all the things that it needs to make, to make this feel more complete, then this will be it for the Ninja Turtles. This will be it for the Ninja Turtles. On the big screen, at least, anyways. Because Transformers 2 was awful, and I didn't even bother with 3 because I was like, what's the point? I saw, they tried... This movie too, the Turtles movie, it feels like they're trying. They're trying to make it so that something that people enjoy. But people who like the Ninja Turtles know what they like, and if you're going to make changes and change up the game and stuff like that, you have to make sure that you're doing things that people are going to be okay with. And I don't think that they really care about that. That's the thing, because this is a Hollywood-made movie. Again, this wasn't the worst Micheal Bay movie I've seen, but it certainly, it wasn't, an amazing movie. It was just okay. With it had a lot of potential, but a lot of missed opportunities, and that's basically what I can say about it. And like I said before, I cannot recommend you going seeing it. This would be a rental on DVD or Netflix or something like that. That's what I say. So, yeah, I guess that's it for my thoughts on the new Ninja Turtles movie. Maybe next time I go to the movie, I'll see something like Guardians of the Galaxy, because I hear it's way better. So, but anyways, thanks for watching my vlog review here on the Ninja Turtles movie. If you've seen it, leave your comments down below on what you thought. Keep it spoiler free, please. And if not, just give me a comment and let you know if you think you're gonna go see it now. Even though I don't recommend it, but that's okay, because everybody's their own person. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next vlog review. Hey guys, thanks for watching my newest vlog review. If you could go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Zeromaster Reviews, like me on Facebook, Zeromaster fan page, and follow me on Twitter, @Zeromaster, that would really help me out. And if you got some spare time, check out the newest episode of the Underoath Retrospective, only available on River City Gamers, because I get copyright strikes if it was on YouTube. Also, if you would like to check out my latest game review on Legacy of the Wizard, you can click on the annotation here on screen and that will take you to it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.